This is Lewis Harrison, and this is Ask Lewis. And this is an educational podcast on problem solving using game psychology and applied game theory. And the focus is going to be how to solve unsolvable problems. And this is a tutorial of sorts. And if you want to know more about us, there is a website, asklewis.com. And you can also become a fan on our fan page on Facebook at Ask Lewis. Of course, you can become my friend at Lewis Harrison there on Facebook. And of course, I hope you will subscribe to this regular educational podcast. We focus mostly on self-improvement, self-awareness, and applied game theory. And the purpose is to help you to become more self-aware, intuitive, effective, efficient, precise, productive, honest, and successful through decision science and applied game theory. A lot of what we cover is creating a meaningful life and how you can use problem-solving skills to not only survive, but to prosper. So I got an email the other day from someone. They've been reading my stuff, and they just said, it seems like you have a system for solving problems. It's not just you deal with them when they arise, but you actually have a personalized system for doing it. And that's actually true. I do. And it's based on gamer psychology. If you're a video gamer, the skills you would use to do well in a video game are the same skills that I use. For me, life is one big video game, and I use applied game theory to systematically understand the various scenarios I'm involved in. You see, often a problem seems unsolvable because you're looking in the wrong direction for the solution. The source of this situation is often some simple, small factor that has begun a complex chain reaction, ultimately shutting down the entire process. So when you're not thinking wise, when you're being emotional or irrational, illogical, and practical, it's easy to fall off center, both mentally and emotionally, and make choices that create these sort of small factors that become major constraints in your life. So in such a case, you will likely be blind to the key factor that's the source of your problem. This chain reaction of events and circumstances may seem external to us, but in fact, may simply be the creations out of our own unique reality. This can ultimately lead to despair and some sense of hopelessness, like you're drowning in a problem and you can't dig your way out of it. Clarity of thought isolates the primary obstacles and removes them. And this is a perfect expression of what they say in Zen when they say chop wood, carry water, or doing what needs to get done. Often it is absolutely clear thinking, what the Zen teachers call a beginner's mind, that will bring a solution to the surface. This is just one more expression of the Chinese word wu wei. It's a Taoist concept of the action that has no action. The idea that if you're in the flow, if you're in rhythm with your environment, then you don't need to struggle to get solutions to problems. They actually arise spontaneously. So, though it may not be a consistent problem that you're having, there are keys to behaving and thinking in ways that bring solutions even in various dilemmas. And one of these ways, believe it or not, is meditation. There are forms of meditation that are specifically designed to tap into creative well-being and bring solutions to the surface of problems intuitively. All that is required here is intention. It is an intention that is manifested in every second through your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. I first came across this idea as a young student through the writings of the great German polymath Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Reading Goethe made me ask, what does it mean to be ready, willing, and able to do something? What extraordinary chain of events is actualized as a result of this way of thinking? I imagine each of my actions as if it's a pebble tossed into a pond. Imagine that for a second. You throw the pebble, it hits the water, and ripples come out and fan out all in response to that simple act. A clear intention, even one that is seemingly small, will create such a wave, a chain reaction, a ripple effect. What the Zen masters call beginner's mind is like a pebble thrown into a pond of the mind. When you're in this state of mind, all form and manner of unforeseen events, circumstances, and environmental shifts will take place to enable your vision to become a reality. This takes place naturally, spontaneously, and often without discipline or willpower. This all happens through the clarity of intention. Clarity of intention is the one thing that can give meaning to your life. It is the core of what chopping wood and carrying water represents for Zen teachers. One often can ask a great Zen teacher, what does a Zen teacher do before they become highly actualized? And the answer is they chop wood and they carry water. Well, the next natural question is, well, what do they do after they become actualized? And the answer is the same. Chop wood, carry water. And what they mean when they say chop wood, carry water is in really minimalist conditions. Let's say you're a prepper or a life hacker or a survivalist or someone that belongs to intentional communities. If you can't chop wood and you can't carry water, you really can't do anything. You have to build a house, you have to wash, you have to do food, you have to clean things. If you can't chop wood and you can't carry water, you really can't function. So with meditation, one holds the pebble, but actually doesn't toss it into the pond. You only observe that pebble. And you say, well, something's a problem, but you are actually saying is that something is limiting your freedom. That's what makes something a problem, that it limits your freedom. So this is a false notion. There really is no problem, is there? It's just that your freedom has been limited. So many great teachers say, there is no problem, only a solution. They believe that some people, places, or things are keeping you from doing what needs to get done. From the perspective of a wise thinker, of someone who's a master of gamer psychology, part of their daily exercise to be a better decision maker needs to focus on the organizing of what you perceive to be a problem or a specific obstacle so that you can address each effectively. An easy and effective way of doing this is to divide problems into 4 primary groups or classes. And actually, they are not all problems. What they really are is challenges. Challenges of limited personal resources is the first one. The second one is challenges resulting from internal obstacles, things that are biological within you that you cannot control or transcend. The third would be problems resulting from external factors beyond your control. And the last one is belief-based obstacles. Belief-based obstacles are the ones that really limit us, these cognitive biases and logical fallacies. Any belief can influence virtually every aspect of your life. It is your beliefs that create the rules that you choose to live by. Many of these beliefs are misguided and may interfere with your productivity and effectiveness in utilizing the resources that are readily available to you. Not all belief-based obstacles are negative. I certainly don't want to disregard the power of faith. However, many misguided religious beliefs can prevent you from transcending an obstacle that you might easily have transcended without a misguided belief. The most common belief-based obstacles include acting without assessing your motivations, a fear of failure, surrounding yourself with unsupportive people, believing what authority figures tell you is so or is not possible, and also ignoring essential details in a situation. Some individuals are mentally frozen when confronted with external circumstances that are beyond their control. These individuals feel overwhelmed and may generally feel victimized by circumstances. More often than not, they have made some decision that has created the obstacle that they feel has imprisoned them. This happens for many reasons. It may be that they focus on the wrong resources at the wrong time, that they delegate ineffectively, they lack essential skills, they have poor time management, priority planning and organizational skills are limited, or they may even be attached to some false belief, which involves a very deep study of what we call cognitive bias and logical fallacies. Applying basically meditation, introspection, laughter, humor, dancing, building the right brain to be more intuitively powerful, and of course, critical thinking are the things that will help you develop the skills that you will need to master the primary problems that you have in your life. So the key here is, if you want to solve your problems, you have to be systematic. You have to have an appreciation of decision science. You have to be able to isolate obstacles that are in the way that may be so small you can't see them, what we call black swans. And you need to keep simple and only act on things that you need rather than just what you want. Because doing what you want when it's not something you need is often the cause of most people's problems. This is a good foundation, and we're going to discuss this in other blogs and podcasts within this structure. So please go to asklewis.com to learn more about this from all the different blogs we have there about problem solving. Please subscribe to this podcast and like our site, our page at asklewis.com. And if you go to our blogs and you go to the end of the blogs, there are really a lot of great products and services that are available for you that will help you make your life more efficient, more effective, more precise, more productive, and self-aware. Thanks a lot for listening. Be safe.